everybody? Welcome back to the iDROPPA podcast. We got a sick episode for you guys today. We got Zygon, our boy all the way from Colorado, is joining us today. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm excited to be out here. It's been a minute since I've been in St. Louis. Always good to kick it with the boys. Me and Ian go way back.
Dude, we go very far back, man. I'm excited that you're back out here for a little bit, hanging out, dropping in, doing the podcast. We're gonna cook up some tunes, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely
You've
gonna
been
cook
here
up some tunes.
For 5 seconds, and you've already showed me like 5 things about EXP filter table that I didn't know.
Yeah, and that's always the fun thing. I got into music for the sound design. Like some people get into it for the fun, whatever it might be, but my particular reason was I heard dubstep and was like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And was really interested in the sound. And then the more I've gotten into it, the more I've realized how just awesome it is, and actually how applicable,
Limitless, right?
yet limitless, and how applicable so many lessons from music apply in other fields, and just like fluid dynamics and like other stuff as well. And just math in general is really an underlying factor of every single system in the world. And so being able to like understand the math behind the sound design really helps in not only the sound design, but other things as well, like lining up the lighting, getting visuals to line up, like
web
bunch of different areas. Yeah, web design,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, your brain is like a mathematically inclined. You're
yeah.
I don't know what you went to school for, but it was
Computer science and mathematics.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how your brain works. My brain does not work that way at all, dude. I like the sound design, but I'm more so just into the flow of creation.
Yeah. And like I'm definitely into the flow of creation, but I also had some unique experiences in college where I was able to take some electives for music sound design. Like I didn't do music theory as much, but sound design. And the two electives I took, both of the teachers like were like, yo, bro, you're really into this. Yeah. Like, do you want some lessons outside? Nice. And one of them was good. The other one was like a sound design major. Really? And he did not make dubstep, but was like the sound design transcends any genre. And that was the guy who taught me a lot of the things that like I haven't been able to learn on YouTube. Yeah. And those are the things that I've tried to impart on my fellow artists, because I know it can be kind of niche and a little complicated, but with a little bit of help and patience, those are the things that have made a huge difference in my sound design and taking things to the next level, because it can be so daunting from a beginner's perspective. And we both know, like, I remember when we were both ass. Like,
yeah, dude.
I'll speak for myself. I remember when I was ass, but
I'm still ass.
I'm working on
it, dude. But your sound design skills have always been very impressive to me, just because like I said, my brain kind of doesn't work that way. I like to like find the closest sounding sound to what I have in my head. I'm like, that's good enough for now. Like let's continue the writing process, and then we'll circle back and do the sound design later, kind of thing. But it sounds like you have a really good foundation of like knowing how to just go about designing a sound to begin with.
Yeah,
regardless of genre or whatever.
Despite that, like I don't go into the DAW and say I'm gonna make this, because that is so much harder unless you have the specific preset or the specific set of VSTs to create that sound. It's almost impossible to replicate sounds. I'm big on experimentation. And when I open a project, I just have my drums and then I sound design for 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, and then find those sounds, build out the arrangement, and then always like I'll start with the arrangement and just duplicate it and then make changes, duplicate it and make changes. And any one song, for any minute of song that I finish, there's 7 minutes of unfinished song that just got scrapped because it continually gets better. And like if you produce music, you know the feeling of you make that first drop and you're like, this is banging. And you make that second drop and it's almost always better.
Yeah.
And so my thought
Dude,
process is
almost
like,
always, yeah.
like scrap that first drop altogether and like just keep making second drops until you're like, I can't make this better. I'm also biased. I don't release a lot of music. I love to like just make music essentially for myself and for live playing. And so I'm okay with a lot of single drops because I'm just playing it live. Like I'm not playing out both drops. But even still, like it's not too much of a stretch to be like, okay, I'll use this one as well for the second drop.
So are you just, when you're doing that, are you just constantly resampling?
Constantly resampling and duplicating. Because I will like, I'll go into sounds like I'll fuck them up. And so I always try to be careful not to destroy good sounds that I like. And so I duplicate. And so a lot of times at the end of a project, my project will be 100+ channels, like tracks. And like some people are like, bro, what the hell?
You're
but it's just like how my workflow goes where, I'm only using 30 of them. But being able to expand, but also keep that safe and go back to it if I like need to pull out any ideas, and being able to like look into the sound and dissect what about the sound I like and what about the sound design is producing that characteristic. And then just accentuating that. That's where I used to be a super stickler about presets. And I wouldn't shit on anyone else. Like you do you, but for me personally, it was about the sound design,
starting from init preset every time.
And I mean, like, I got good at that, but I was at a certain point, I was hindering myself. I had learned everything. But I was just shooting myself in the foot, being like, I make everything from scratch. Like, no, at some point that doesn't matter. Like, we're here to make good music.
Yeah, you think Fred again makes everything from scratch?
I mean,
Sonny?
I think he B-pads it from scratch, you know.
For sure.
But to be completely honest, I don't like, and I could be proven wrong, but I think the majority of big artists don't make their sounds from scratch. They use like a preset, and I'll use a preset, but the final sound I get is not the preset. It's usually like tweaked and post-processed 8 times over. But being able to go through those presets and then find one where you're like, okay, I like this sound, dissect it, and then post-processing, it was another huge step for me. Taking things outside of the synthesizer and realizing that there are so many tools to like morph the sound in unique ways outside of the synthesizer, and then just learning how to blend them all together. I had different phases where I would resample a lot. So I would have a synthesizer or just a sample, post-process it and resample it, and then find the good samples out of that. And then I got back into using presets, and now I'm kind of in a middle ground where presets are really good for getting that repetitive pattern, like something that the listener can latch onto and essentially recognize, like a chorus kind of vibe. But also being able to resample and use different things to create like fills. I use Ableton for all of my sound design and arrangement, but I will have FL open when I'm working specifically for
reason.
I have my Maelstrom in Ableton. I use it specifically for the granulizer. The fruity granulizer is incredible.
Tell the people about it. I don't think I know about this one. Where's Austin? He knows about that shit.
So granular synthesis is this interesting thing where you have your sample and you have a grain, and the grain is just a cut of that sample, and you go through and it will play the grain on top of each other. And so if you have it just play the grain straight and go linear, it will just play the sound. But if you shorten the grain and make it do multiple or whatever, you will generate these really unique sounds. Right. And Ableton's granulizer is good in its own right, but not for what I use it for. It's really good at doing multiple grains, but that can make the sound really messy. Whereas FL's granulizer, it just goes through the file and doesn't do as much grain generation as much as it does grain manipulation. Okay. And so you can retain the core of the sound while also creating this space. And if I were to play some of the examples, you would be like, wow, like that's where it's coming from. And there's been a lot of things like that where I was always like, I fucking love that sound, but I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how to make it. And then one day I figured it out. Another one I use all the time now is delay. So I used to love in rhythm when they do like that tape stop kind of sound.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it with tape stop. And then eventually I realized it's with delay. If you turn your delay up all the way to 100%, link them, and then mess with the delay timing, you'll get some crazy like
oh yeah,
that's how. And shit. It's amazing for fills. I used to like not be the best at fills. Like I'd create chunks, but they felt kind of separated, and half the time they would just be essentially empty space. But being able to create good fills, to link the different sounds together, to link the different vibes together, has really helped like give my music a consistent chug where like it just improved my music all around. Yeah. And those are the two tools that I use the most for my fills is the delay trick and then the granulizer.
You got to show me this delay trick when we're done because
definitely.
I have gluten-free Ableton, which just means Ableton 10.
Yeah.
I don't have a granulizer yet. There's no grains to be had in my Ableton, so.
I think so I actually got my granulizer as a Max plugin.
Okay.
So you think you can get it on 10, but even still, like if you have I can get you on my copy of FL, and that is what the granulizer is really, really useful for.
Man, if you're saying it's worth it just to download the whole fucking
it's worth it
DAW just for that.
Yeah, Effector is really nice in FL as well. I just haven't like really gotten it to do what I want it to do. Massive's pulled it up, and that boy's a freak. Like,
shout out to Massive Tracks.
Shout out to Massive Tracks. Shout out to Fujiwara. Shout out to all the
big
homies.
shout out to Massive Tracks.
Yeah, Remy Days. Sorry,
all the homies, dude. All the homies.
Yeah.
Should we talk about our history, man?
Yeah, let's go into it. Do you want to start or
yeah, I'll start. Let's see. The first time I ever heard your name mentioned was from the homie Necrotic Noise. Big shout out. He was like, we're gonna do a live stream show for our birthday. It was our friend Tim's birthday. Shout out to Tim too. And so he got together me and some other DJs from around here, Delinquent. It was Delinquent, me, Deems, and then he got
was this that one show in the backyard?
Yeah, this was the backyard live stream.
Oh, that was for my birthday too.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Micah. It was his birthday too, bro. So yeah, we got together and we had a couple people in the backyard, and this dude fucking like Skyped in or something.
Yeah,
I played a set.
I was like playing, and I figured out a bunch of stuff to get it so where I could like send in the video with the visuals and me on top.
Yeah,
and like
it was full production. Like on our end, we were like,
this was
holy
during
shit.
COVID, I believe.
Yeah,
was it
like right at the start? Yeah, and so that was my first introduction to everybody. And
you killed it, bro. Your set was like, it stuck in my mind as like, wow, that was really unique. You know, not the average
cookie cutter.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't cookie cutter stuff like I was used to hearing.
Yeah, and I always try to. We'll get into that later, but unique sets, like be you, unapologetically you. Yeah. I don't play to the crowd because so that's a hot take, but I am confident enough in my taste that if I'm going to pull up and play a set that I've spent a bunch of time into curating and you don't like it, then like we're just not compatible. And if like I've had enough experience to know like it goes well when I take control. And I think there's something to be said about not letting people influence you into being someone else, because it can come off as like disingenuous. And I think a big factor that plays is when I'm playing music that I love, I'm getting down up there.
You're getting super down.
I'm
bro.
getting super down, and that's a contagious
Your stage
vibe.
presence is fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's always good to have all the boys. After that show, I started doing Abyssal Cartel more and started to take it a little more seriously.
Which that's your label, and you're throwing shows also under
Abyssal
Cartel.
I started Abyssal Cartel because there was me and a few other guys, Remy Days, Massive Tracks, namely, like we were all kind of in the same place where we cared so much, but it felt like we were just separated from the scene in some way. And so I wanted to create a collective where it's like, no, this is just about the music. Like everybody in it loves music. We make music all the time together. So naturally the next step is throwing shows so we can share our music. And so I threw a show, booked Necrotic Noise, and he came out with Ian, and that was my first time actually meeting Ian. And
that was a wild experience.
Yeah,
man.
wild experience.
We played at
Was
a
that
hookah
the
bar.
first Abyssal Cartel show?
No, it wasn't the first one, but it was one of the early ones. Like it was back when we were at the hookah lounge, and yeah, that was always fun. Every Abyssal show has always been lit. Like we pull up and shut it down largely because we have such quality artists, and I put a ton of effort into making sure our production is quality. All the artists are quality. Like I do visuals. Several of the other Abyssal guys do visuals. So all of our visuals are personally made. And then at a certain point, I got into doing the lighting, which I use.
That shit is. I'm so glad you got into doing the lighting, because the live shows after you learned how to do that
were literally
insane,
next
bro.
level.
Yeah.
And
full production.
Like that's what I wanted to stand out and just be like, yo, this is awesome. But being able to use Record Box, there's a Record Box lighting feature where you can get a box and you plug it into your computer, and you have to manually program all of the lights ahead of time.
A lot of automating and stuff.
A lot of automating. Yeah. At first, like it was take me 30, 40 hours to do all 6 sets, because I'd sit down in my basement and do everybody's set myself for every song. Right. That way the whole show was perfectly timed. Yeah. Eventually I got the workflow down to where it'd be 10, 15 hours. Still a pain in the ass, but well worth it.
Super worth it. You honestly, you pushed me, because that was like at the point where I was pretty, new in the grand scheme of things, and I was not planning my sets out. I was just like freestyling every time. And you were like, well, you got to give me some kind of like blueprint you're going to play. So yeah, it kind of pushed me to do that. And now my sets are always better when they're planned. Yeah,
always better. And like that's a big argument sometimes, is freestyled sets or curated sets. And I'm not saying anyone who freestyles is wrong. I'm just saying, for me personally, I know when I curate a set, it is only the best of the best music. Every transition is fluid. Mm-hmm. And I also like to do a lot of doubles and triples, like doubles into doubles.
Yeah.
And I hate buildups. And fuck buildups.
Get right to the drop, dude.
But so being able to curate it where I can load this double and then load this double and just drop either like double into double or double into like short buildup. But you have to be like on time with that. Like you can't freestyle that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to be ADHD.
Yeah, like, I'm sitting there practicing it 30 times over to the point where like I if I'm listening to the set to listen through it, I'm like muscle memory trying to hit the cues as it's playing.
You're like a fighter pilot.
Yeah, but also like when you're up there, like it's nice to have that like, oh, because I like to dance, the stage presence, and like I'll be dancing and I'll hear that certain sound or that certain timing. Oh shit! Like I gotta get back. Like go hit that
Your body
cue.
knows, dude.
Yeah.
So
But
what's your like? How much from? I feel like every set I've seen from you is at least 90% original tunes.
yeah,
Right?
and that's another thing where I've flip flopped back and forth. When I was first able to do all original sets, I did the whole, I play all original sets. Like I wasn't being like that to other people, but to myself I was.
Same, dude, same. For sure.
And I mean, that shit was ass, but it was still
Those are the
all
best.
me. And I listened back to them and I'm like, okay, like it was not as bad as I thought it was. Like you can see the thought there,
Mhm.
but once I was able to play an all original set, every new song I made was better than the last and just replaced a song in the set until it got to the point where like my whole set is banging with all originals. But also I love dubstep, and there are some of these guys out here that are just insane with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm really into Prosecute, Sisto,
Ooh, yeah.
Toxate is really good.
Mhm.
There's a few others, but like some of those, I was just like, dude, I gotta play some of these. So I've gotten more into playing both, especially now that my music has gotten to a level where I can mix it in with professional level songs, and it's not like, oh shit, here comes the original. It's like you can't
Catches
tell the
people off
difference.
guard
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Massive Tracks about that after his Dance Fest set, because he's got so much original music.
Yeah.
But he was like still throwing in every once in a while like really recognizable like anthems,
Yeah.
dubstep anthems that people would recognize.
Yeah. And so I think that's the good middle ground. Obviously, you got to decide for yourself. I don't think like I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't go through those phases of saying, oh, I'm going to make every sound myself. Oh, I'm going to play an all original set. But being able to eventually take the step back and say, okay, like it's not that serious, or like it is that serious, and I want to be the best I can be, and the best you can be is that good middle ground.
Right. Yeah. I respect it, dude. Yeah, the grind is real, man. On top of the music and the shows, you're onto bigger and badder projects.
Yeah.
You're doing crazy big things.
Yeah.
For those of you that can I talk about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Those of you that don't know, we've been advertising for this cool app called LuvNote on this podcast for a little while. And Zygon here is the creator of the app.
LuvNote is an app for finding friends and partners based on shared musical culture. Find all events near you. Filter by genre and distance. Use harmonies to find friends and dates for specific events. See your harmonies' shared taste in music. Use your shared taste to find events you will both enjoy. Invite harmonies to events. Generate collaborative playlists based on your shared tastes. View and manage all of your playlists. Choose between friends and dating to find dance partners for every occasion. Enjoy full access on the web. Android and iOS are in open beta. LuvNote. Don't just date, harmonize.
Yeah,
So cool.
am the founder and solo developer. I went to school for computer science, but I've had an incredibly hard time finding a job for it. And so I eventually was able to find a unpaid internship, and that really just lit the fire under me, where it was like, okay, yes, I'm getting rejected from here and here, but that doesn't mean I'm not capable.
Yeah.
And
Just haven't
once
had the right opportunity yet.
Yeah. And once I got in the actual professional environment and realized, oh, wow, like I'm excelling way more than I thought I would be, I got to a point where I had done so much and the other interns essentially had done nothing. And my boss told me like, hey, bro, like you need to slow down. I was like, okay. But I was I was like, okay, well, I'm passionate about this again, and I can't just stop, or I might not start again. I just know myself.
Right.
And so I had this idea and started to build it. And we're at the point now where it's finished and released. LuvNoteDating.com. You can get the iOS beta or the Android beta. Android is releasing on the actual Google Play Store in
That's
8
huge,
days.
Dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. iOS, I'm like doing some finagling with them. I messed up something, but that's kind of in the works. It will be released on iOS eventually. It's in open beta. You can get it as the app. It's just not on the App Store, and it's fully accessible online.
It's dope too.
Yeah, the whole premise is like elevator pitch is that music is culture. So much of who you are is directly influenced by your taste in music. What you like to wear, what you like to do, who you like to hang out with, all influenced by your culture. I know, like, when I start listening to indie music, I'm wearing a flannel. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm in flannel and boots, and so that's why it's such a good metric for finding not only partners, but friends. The app has dating and friends. You will only get shown other users who share your music interests. And so that's like the deciding factor of who you get to see besides your distance and gender preferences. But that way you can feel confident that when you make a harmony with somebody, that you have something in common. And so to go off of that, I integrated Apple Music and Spotify. So you can link your Apple Music or your Spotify, and if the other user has it linked as well, you can create collaborative playlists with your harmonies where you choose the genres and it will go through both of your libraries and grab your music for those genres with like a limit of 2 off the same album and 3 from the same artist. So you get a nice variety.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it gives you a first date playlist or pre-game playlist where you're able to be like, okay, we might share some of this music, guaranteed we both like this genre. And that feeling of like when a song comes on and you start singing and they start singing.
That's crazy.
And so trying to help share that culture, you can also match or make harmonies with people from across the country. And so the goal is to create like this music community kind of platform where you can share music. I could match with someone in Wisconsin and see what local artists they might be into. And then on top of that, it has the event calendar. And this is to really help facilitate expanding your music culture or getting into new music communities. It pulls all of the events from Ticketmaster for your local area and filters them by genre. And so you're able to choose like your genre or subgenre, and it will display all the events for that genre. And so then you can click on an event, say I'm going, like click the harmonize button, and you will be able to make harmonies with people who also said they're going. And so you can either find dates for a show you don't want to go to alone to, or one thing that I know I'm going to do is I like to explore new communities, but it can be very daunting to walk into like a death metal show and you don't know anyone. You've never seen a death metal mosh pit in person. Whereas if you like, this gives you the ability to match with somebody or make a harmony with somebody who's already going, who's already a part of that community. And so they can be your sort of cultural guide, where I know like if someone matched or made a harmony with me and I took them to a dubstep show, I'd show them high knees. I'd show them the proper moshing etiquette. I'd show them candy and all this stuff that we take for granted being part of the community. Plur. We take that for granted because we're just so accustomed to it. Whereas these people who like just don't know, we like can give that opportunity to take them under our wing and show them these different cool, intricate nuances to our specific community. And I'm excited to see the cool little things about other communities. Like specifically, I know I want to find some metal shows. I really like indie. Like I want to check out some country shows. And this gives you the ability to not only find them, but find people for them. I know as I've been building it, my roommate Mason has like been just sitting on the app next to me, checking out the new features I add or whatever. And several times we've been just looking at the calendar and we're like, what the hell? Like T-Pain's coming in, or like
Yeah.
some random artist that we would have never seen, because we all have
Sick.
our own like tracks of promotion.
Right.
And yes, you might get music promotion like promoted to you, but it's still based off of your likes, your interests, and it's trying to cater to you. Whereas this gives you the ability to step outside of that comfort zone and see what more music has to offer, because it is truly limitless.
For sure, dude. That's awesome, dude. I'm super stoked for the potential that
Yeah.
this app has, dude. It sounds like I know you've put in a shit ton of work.
Yeah. And
It's
I'm
paying off.
trying to build a user base right now. The final big system I'm working on is an AI pipeline where I have an ambassador code. I can give people ambassador codes, and it will come with a theme and a month of free premium. So
Right
like
on.
if Ninja wanted to be an ambassador, I could make a teal theme for him that changes the app
Okay.
theme.
Yeah.
Just a little thing to make it cooler. But getting those ambassadors, I'm really bad at social media. That is like my biggest weakness when it
Yeah.
comes to everything. And so I'm writing an AI pipeline that will, I can use a web scraper, Appify, to get a bunch of Instagram handles based on certain metrics, follower count, what they're interested in, hashtags, whatever it might be. Feed that into my server, and my server connects with the Meta for developers to send Instagram or Facebook DMs to them.
Oh wow.
And then when they respond, my server will send their response to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will look at it. I have a list of templates. ChatGPT will look at it and say, can I answer this question with one of these templates? If it has a confidence ratio of above 75%, it will automatically reply. If it goes below 75%, then it emails me and says, you need to pick this up. So the idea being is I'm trying to automate the process that I'm the worst at and just get the name out there. I also don't have a ton of funding. And so like the payment structures for the ambassadors is like, hey, I'll give you a large chunk of the revenue, like more than a fair share of the revenue, because I don't have the ability to pay you $500,000 up front for a post. But that also is beneficial in the way where if they put more work into it, they get paid more. You know, like it's not, hey, you post one time and hopefully it works. It's like, hey, here's your opportunity. If you get a bunch of users signed up and generate a bunch of revenue, you will make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
If you don't, you'll make a little money. No sweat. There's no requirements or anything.
Right.
And this is just the best way I found, because this is a new experience for me, almost in its entirety. I mean, I've done a lot of business stuff for the Abyssal Cartel, but not to this level.
Right.
And so trying to like seriously think like, how do you run this business? How do you go from, okay, the app is finished to, okay, now I need users. Like there's no doubt that the app is cool. You know, it's got cool features, but that doesn't mean shit if no one's on it.
Right.
And so that's the struggle that I'm running into for the moment. But I'm confident, like once it gets out there, like it's gonna get out there.
That's a smart way to try and promote it as well.
Yeah.
With the ambassador thing.
And there's one really interesting thing that I've always kind of known, but it's become like very apparent with the app. This weird like tribal nature of humans, and it's just in our blood to be tribal. My closest friends are all super hyped and supportive of the app because we are in the same tribe.
Sure.
People that I barely know are super hyped and supportive because they are in a tribe far enough removed that they don't see me as competition.
Yeah, that
but
makes
there's
sense.
a weird middle ground.
Yeah.
Where these people are my friends, but it's blatantly obvious that they are not cheering for me because I'm viewed as competition, because I'm of a different tribe, but in the same community, and which like I'm guilty of as well. You know, it's literally human nature.
Right.
But I think it's a very important thing to recognize and not let that deter you from your dreams and your goals. Like relying on other people and their validation is almost always going to disappoint you. And I think that's one thing that has taken me so far is I validate myself. I also invalidate myself. Like
Right.
if I make a song and it's ass, I know it's ass. Like
Yeah.
I don't need somebody to come in, yo, bro, this is awesome. Like I don't need
Like,
you to
I
gas
know.
me up. I know for myself. And that's not like in a mean way or anything. It's just the fact of the matter. And when you are your own critic, you will always push yourself farther. And because people that don't understand will always be impressed by little successes. But like the question is, are you trying to impress them? Or are you trying to
Right.
impress yourself?
Are you doing it for who are you doing it for?
Yeah,
You?
who are you doing it for? And that's a very important question.
I get that way with like releasing music. Sorry to cut you off, but like I'm really bad at like sending my stuff to get like critiqued by my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like I think I know better than I think you know at the end of the day. Like I don't know. I'm bad at that. I want to get better at that.
Yeah. I send my music to my friends as like, yo, check this out. It's not usually like, hey, critique it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, same. That's usually what I'm asking for is like, yo, check out how cool this fucking song is.
Yeah.
I don't need your I didn't ask for your opinions, man.
And the funny thing is, it always seems like the people that don't have valuable opinions are always the first people to give their opinions. And like the people who have been in the game and have like gone through the trenches tend to like respect other people's creative freedoms. But like, yes, we'll chime in if it's like, hey, bro, you might have forgotten side chaining. But
Yeah,
like,
you got the sub.
yeah.
Yeah. I think like we like with all things, it's a good balance of being like confident and realistic in your own abilities, being able to tell when something is shit, and go back to the drawing board, you know, and then also
When
using
it's
the people
worth
around you.
scrapping
Mhm.
and like just creating just all the time, like as much as possible. I think a pitfall people can very often fall into is they'll make a song and then spend 3 weeks on that song. I rarely spend more than a day, almost never more than 2 days on a song. And like, yeah, I know I could go more in depth, but that's just like my workflow. And like, I just like to make it. And then like, I'll keep tweaking until there's a point where I'm like, I don't know what else to do. And in my head, like it's done, you know, like I'm usually just playing it live. It doesn't need to be the best master mix down ever.
That's a good place to be mentally though, because then you can just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And
Even if you're gonna release it or you're not gonna release it, like it's good enough in your mind as it is right now to where you're comfortable with moving on to the next project.
or even if it's not where you want it to be, just being able to move on to the next project and start with this clean slate. Every project I've ever made, I learned something in. I got better than the last project. Whereas if I just stuck on the same project, like eventually you get diminishing returns. And I found like negative returns. If I work on a song for too long, I will literally turn it into shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. I do the same thing. I'm doing that right now to like 5 different songs. It's a shame.
Yeah. And so like just being able to understand like sometimes less is more. And that was one thing one of my college professors taught me was I really like to make kind of busy songs. And he was like, hey, like it's good, but there's too much going on. And he said there's like a rule of 3. Your brain is only able to process 3 sounds at once, at least good. If you have more than that, it makes it to where your song is hard to remember and hard to follow. If you like, I knew the song, so I knew every sound, but to a new person hearing it can get a little messy. And so that was really hard to like start doing, but I will make a song, make the 8 different drops with 42 different sounds, and then go back and be like, okay, what can I cut? Like, let's strip everything or turn it down. Another thing he said is for something to be loud, something else has to be quiet. You cannot have everything be loud. And so understanding that juxtaposition in context with minimal sounds has really helped give my songs impact, and also figure out how to blend these sounds more than just have a bunch of them. And that helps with like the different frequency layering, because it's really hard to make one full sound. And I know for me, and I would assume for a lot of other artists, when we get big chunky sounds, that's actually 2 to 3 sounds that we have EQ'd, run through glue compressors, different tools to morph them into one sound. Especially because the way the wave works, the low end and the high end do not behave the same because of the thing called phasing. Your sounds are actually interacting with each other and messing with each other, low end especially. If you have 2 low end sounds that are out of key, or even just not like perfect intervals of each other, you will get horrible warbling, and it will just destroy your bass thud. And I love bass like that. Like,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. That's what it's about. And
hey,
so
pay attention. He's spitting game right now, y'all.
But being able to process the low end and the high end differently gives you the freedom to cater to whatever you're working on. And like I've found certain distortions work good for the low end, but make the high end really hissy, and vice versa. Certain high end distortions will just destroy low end. And so like you kind of got to figure that out for yourself, but it takes a lot of experimentation. And but like that's where understanding the science behind how these sounds are interacting with each other, what a wave function is, what phasing is, and how to use those to your advantage instead of your detriment.
Yeah, that's something I learned like way too late, was just the simple like in Serum, like the random thing with the phase. It took me way too long to learn how to turn all those down.
And like when I first learned about phasing and how it truly works, like what an EQ is showing you, it's just showing you all the different sine waves at different frequencies and amplitudes that add up together to generate that final wave. A square wave is not a square wave. A square wave is a collection of sine waves according to a certain algorithm that all add up together to create that square wave. Every sound in existence is all just sine waves. When we speak, it's all just, it can be described by sine waves interacting with each other.
I mean, dude, even like the sun's like fucking like the way we move around the sun, the way the sun
it's
rises and
oscillating.
sets, it's a sine wave. It's crazy.
And it's oscillating, and like low frequency oscillator, understanding what that is, that you have your oscillator in the synth, like your square wave or whatever is an oscillator. But okay, so what's an LFO, low frequency oscillator? When you go below 20 hertz, that's usually about the threshold that differentiates patterns between sound. And you can notice it if you put on some effects and link them to the LFO. If you go below 20 hertz, you'll hear it as like a pattern. Once you start to go above 20 hertz, it turns into the sound. It like changes the characteristic.
Like if you take like a sine wave and stretch it out like all the way, you hear like the rhythmic, like the it's like a beat almost.
Yeah,
it's like the little transients.
By stretching it out, you're just lowering the frequency, like lowering the pitch of it. And once you go below a certain pitch, think about it like sub. If you have a fat sub, you know there's a certain frequency that hits your chest, and as you start to go lower, it loses that impact. And once you go low enough, it's like not even a sound anymore. And it's just like little things like that where it just seems like some random piece of information, but then you're working in the DAW and like it clicks, and you are able to use that understanding to manipulate things how you want.
It becomes like a piece of the fundamental understanding of sound design.
And LFOs are so important for just dubstep in general,
dude. So 100% like honesty with you right now, I know what an LFO is, but like I don't understand why low frequency. Like I get what an oscillator is doing, but like if I'm putting an LFO on the volume tab just to get, the volume automation, like that in my mind is what an LFO is doing. And it doesn't really have anything to do with like the frequencies of the sound, or does it?
No, the frequency in reference to the low frequency oscillator is how fast it's repeating. So
Okay. So it doesn't
you
have anything
see
to do
a
with
single sine wave in your LFO, but when you change from 10 hertz to 100 hertz, what it's doing is it's compressing that actually. So it's going instead of, and that's why when you start doing this fast enough, that it turns into a sound. It like you don't hear the separation between each peak. But when you go low frequency, that separation between the peaks is what you're hearing. And that's why it's called low frequency, because it specifically needs to be that low frequency to do those patterns, to do the like morphing instead of an effect. And like being able to use multiple oscillators like LFOs has really helped, because I used to fall into the trap of, I mean, I like rhythm, but like that can get really repetitive sometimes. And so being able to apply multiple LFOs where you have your quarter note, like wop, 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 but I will also have an LFO going half note or a full bar. And that is just affecting some other characteristic to create this evolving sound where it's not just the same. You have
same quarter note over and over and over again. There's like slight variation in each quarter note.
Yeah. And it makes it less boring. It also helps tell like a story where like when you speak, you're not just talking monotone like this. And it's the same thing for music. Being able to have that inflection in the sounds helps create that conversation.
Yeah. When I interviewed Mushroom Cloud, like one of the biggest pieces of advice that he gave to me was automate everything.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I've been doing that.
Yeah. And you could do some really cool stuff in Ableton too with like envelope follower that uses your amplitude, so your volume of whatever sound you put it on, to automate something else. And so you can use it in different ways.
Like
one of the ways, yes,
wow,
exactly like side chaining, but it follows, whereas side chaining ducks and then like comes back. The envelope follower follows the sound specifically in its volume, like continuously.
That's pretty
And
sweet.
so one thing I've used it for, this is just a good example, is if I have a sound that I want to have a really good reverb tail, but I don't want it to be washed out, I'll put the envelope follower on and reverse it. And so when the sound is playing, it is muting or turning the dry wet off of my reverb or like the delay time or whatever.
Wow.
So then when the sound stops happening, it opens right back up.
Sick.
And so you're able to have those clean sounds with that nice reverb tail. And it gives a really good characteristic. That's just an example. There are plenty of other examples where you use it, like when the sound comes in, you bring up the distortion.
That saves you a lot of automating, I feel like.
A lot of automating. And yeah, it's just really good. Sometimes it's just better to just automate it. I do my side chaining. I literally just have a utility and I automate the volume because I used to use compressor and had disappointing results, honestly.
Glue compressor? Or
No,
just
so
regular
yeah,
compressor?
regular compressor, and then you turn on the side chain.
Yeah.
That would duck, but to get it to duck fully, you had to push it almost too much to where it was really noticeable. And then getting the tail out, it's just like, it's really good for just like plug and play. But when you're trying to get those like crisp things, like being able to automate fully out, because again, it goes back to phasing. You don't want that kick and that sub interacting with each other because they will create some weird artifacts that you don't want.
Yeah.
And so literally giving it like that 10 milliseconds of full ducking it like you think it would be super noticeable in the song. Like the song just disappears for 10 milliseconds and you just hear the kick. But when you do it right, like it's hardly noticeable. In fact, it's way more noticeable when it's not on.
Yeah. Because you feel the kick coming through more.
Yeah,
You don't
way
hear the
more
phase cancellation.
and
going.
you help give that flow. Like another thing is like automating your volume. So I used to kind of just wah, 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 but understanding to automate, like the sidechain is automating that intro, but automating the outro to help bring it out for a second and give it a little bit of space. And like that, there is where a lot of times you can use some quieter reverb tails to help fill the space. So it's not empty, but it's not just blasting in your face the whole time.
It's like the same. It's like a hint of the same sound.
Yeah,
That's a good way to like sculpt the sounds to really punch through more.
really punch. And that's the thing I've noticed is like a punch. Like it seems counterintuitive that taking out part of the sound would help accentuate it, but it does.
Right. Less is more. Like
less is more. Yeah. But I mean, you got to have good sounds for it, but it's definitely very useful. There's so many tools, and like I wish there was a way for me to just like download everything that I've learned into other people. And I mean, I try, like I try to teach people as much as I can. The people that have cared about learning, like I've gone to extreme lengths to do everything I can to help them learn. And but at the end of the day, I cannot do it for you. No one can do it for you. And so if you're trying to get into production, you need to be about it and you need to understand you're going to be bad for a while.
Oh yeah,
you need to learn and like accept other people's ideas. It's just like a bad transition period, but you have to be bad at something to get good at it. Yeah. What I will say is like music is one of those things for me where every minute that I put into it, I gain something out of it. I'm better for every minute that I am working on it. And so like if I spend a full day working on a song or sound designing or whatever it might be, I feel a lot better than if I wasted the whole day playing video games. Because when I hop off that video game, it's gone. Like that, those skills don't translate. Like it's just essentially a waste. Like, yeah, I'm having fun, but music is that thing.
The game is there when you come back for it later. You might have upgraded your character or whatever, but like in the grand scheme of things, like I think we're making EDM or whatever. We're making dance music, but we're actually creating something that will outlive us. Yes, like forever and exist forever.
We will continue to get better. Where like even like the past few years we've known each other, like we've both upgraded so many times. Yeah, and like 10 years from now, where will we be? And I love experimenting with different types. I like the heavy stuff, but I also really love weird wet sounds. And so making heavy songs with those weird wet sounds, I've gotten really into making death metal because I do like,
you do some screams.
Yeah, too, right? I do some screams. And so like, that's really fun. Just experimenting. Sometimes when people are like, hey, what kind of music do you make? It's like, whoa, where do I start?
Yeah.
Dude,
like one of my favorite things that you've ever shown me that you made was like the like folky, like it had like the mandolin recorded on there. That was one of my favorite things you've ever shown me because it was so fucking unique. Bro. Yeah, I've never heard anything like
that was just like with an old boss I had. He was into music, and I was like, let's do it together. Like, let's see what we can do. He came over. I showed him some crazy sound design stuff with his guitars. He jammed out. We chopped it up. I put some vocoder on his voice, created an instrument out of that, just had a great time. And then I would have him come play shows. I have a rapper I work with a lot, A1, shout out A1. And then they both came over one time and we all made a song together. And then I would have them perform it live.
Nice.
And like, it's definitely interesting for me to like be playing just like straight mosh music and then be like, okay, we're going to have an interlude. And I pull out like this guitarist and this rapper. It's just like an interesting vibe.
That's
and fun.
So cool though.
Yeah.
You get like no one else is doing that, so like that makes you another step ahead of everyone else in uniqueness.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's as much no one else is doing it, but like, I mean, no one knows I do that besides the people that have seen it
Right.
and like the people that know it. And so I'm not going to say no one else is doing it. I just don't think it's as popular to share,
Sure.
in the same
And
way,
like
like,
like you said, you're playing like mosh pit sets
yeah,
for like the majority of your set, and then you'll drop like a random fucking just soulful or like folky kind of track and just switch the vibe up. But I mean, people aren't leaving the dance floor.
No.
People are locked in for it.
It's always true to who I am and
Yeah.
like my quality, my expectations of quality for myself. And like people can recognize that. People can pick up on your vibes. If you're there just for the clout, like they can tell.
Oh yeah, you can
And
smell it a mile away.
Yeah. Especially like those that are in the game, like that shit reeks.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
But
You could tell. And those people aren't usually they don't last too long. They
No.
come and they go.
they come and they go. But like, I'll be here till I die. I'll
Yeah,
be making
dude.
music till the day I die.
Man, you better start putting some of that shit out, bro.
Yeah. Well, so like, and I've always kind of had like long-term plans. I knew I wasn't in the right headspace to really put everything I needed to into my promotion. And so I would release songs to get, 100 plays or whatever, which isn't that big of a deal, but I just didn't see the point in it. It almost just
Yeah.
felt like trying to stroke my ego. Like I'm not doing enough to back it up. And so the plan was like, I'm going to go down a different path. Obviously music is still there, but I'm going to try and figure out how to make good money, be able to support myself, and then have the money to pay for a manager
Mhm.
to like open these new doors. And then I have hundreds of songs in the vault
Yeah.
where it's just like,
Ready to
yeah,
go.
like ready to go. At
Or-
least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. But
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you might release a song that is like your opus, and it's amazing, and it only gets 100 plays,
yeah,
which it's like disheartening. But the next month, if you release another song, it'll get 200 plays.
yeah,
Like, if you are consistent with it, it will. Like, that's the thing with social media. Not everything you put out has to be your best work, but put it out and it will grow inch by inch.
yeah. And like, I definitely agree. That is like not something I'm like proud of. Like, oh, I don't release songs. It's just like, I don't know. Like I have learned it's like stressful for me and it's not worth the trouble at the moment.
Right.
Um,
You found your flow. You found your process.
yeah. And I'm not making this music for everybody to be like, yo, this is awesome.
Mhm.
Like so sick. Like I truly am making the music for myself.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's not that big of a deal. Like one day I will actually start releasing music and then it'll be like, oh, damn, where'd these come from? It's like, bro, I've been cooked these. This shit's 4 years old.
That's the thing, dude. Yeah, I mean, like you said, you don't work on a song for more than like 2 days. I work on a song for like 8 months, 9 months,
Yeah.
longer than that sometimes. Like, it's very rare that a song is like a day or two.
But you're also
Ready to
not
go.
working exclusively on that song.
No, I can't. I have to work on like 5,
Yeah.
6 different songs.
And I think that's what I was saying, like steer clear of just being like, I'm on this song. Like
Yeah.
coming back to
Well,
songs
that's-
is always important, like with a new set of
Yeah.
ears.
I'm doing that for like the mixing
Yeah.
process right now, and it's so bad because fucking V9 M6 sounds like dog shit, but V1 M1 sounds like the cleanest, best one yet. So I'm ruining songs actively.
And listening to it on different systems will like
Mhm.
sound differently. And so like I can find trying to create perfection can often stifle my creative process
Yeah.
in its entirety. And like at the end of the day, nothing is perfect. And when you really think about it, how many people are actually hearing that little 0.2 decibel
Yeah.
difference in your snare? Not many people.
Nah, no one gives a fuck.
Like, don't disregard your own opinions and say like, oh, like that doesn't matter. But at a certain point, you got to just be like, okay, we're gonna move on.
Know when to say when.
Yeah, know when to say when. And yeah, I mean, my masters used to be horrible. It's like so bad. I didn't know how to get a sausage wave. Like Massive taught me, and even still, it's not like the best masters or anything. But I don't know. It's interesting and so important just to keep working and keep learning.
Yeah, every day that I'm in Ableton that I learn something new. It's like even if I didn't do anything, I learned a tidbit that I can take with me.
Yeah, and YouTube is actually such a good resource now. Like they have put out so much stuff. Mr. Bill is a really good resource for that more in-depth sound design. Virtual Riot's good for like Eliminate's funny.
Great.
He doesn't do as much like this is what I'm doing. Peekaboo's been releasing some stuff that's really good.
Getter's going crazy right now, dude. He's putting out all his project files and tutorials,
which
and
I think is so awesome. Like, what a like champion for the community,
dude. If he was doing that in like 2015 when those songs were coming out, bro, it would have been. I would have spent my last fucking paycheck on that.
And that also like takes some big balls to be like, here's the whole project file. I know you can't do it like me, even with the damn project file.
He's just flexing how much automation he has. Like LFO is going fucking crazy. Wow. Well, dude, we've done about an hour. Do you have, obviously, go check out LuvNote, go check out Zygon.
LuvNoteDating.com, LUVNOTE dating.com.
It's right there. Go click it.
Hell yeah.
Go click that link. Go find your soulmate. And,
or your friend, whatever it might be.
Or your friend. My favorite part about the app is like, I'm sorry, not single anymore, everybody. But when I was single, it was always like a dirty secret that I liked EDM. And I went to raves, and I would always like mention that at the last second, and it was usually a turnoff for people. So being able to like get that out of the way and have it in the open, this is who I listen to, this is who I like. Not only do I like EDM, but like dubstep, rhythm, like, you know, not just house or drum and bass. And stuff.
And the app has 472 different genres and subgenres. But the event calendar will only show ones that return events, so you're not stuck there going through all of them. But if you're setting your preferences, like you can choose from a whole shit ton. And when you set your preferences, the whole app customizes. So when you open the event calendar, automatically has your genre preferences applied.
Should we like play a game where we name all the genres?
I mean,
all 432 genres.
I'll read some of the funny ones because
roll them on the screen.
They're hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, how many words like just cores alone? You know.
Yeah, breakcore, hardcore.
Oh, so many.
Oh my god, yeah.
Marine
also,
core.
like pop. You know, there's so many different types of pop.
Yeah, hyper pop.
Yeah.
Ambient pop, baroque pop, British alternative, cocktail, cowpunk.
Wait, cowpunk?
Yeah, I don't know. Paisley, underground, and those are all just the alternative ones. Like if we look at EDM, two-step, acid house, acid jazz, ambient breakbeat, ambient electronica, happy hardcore, high NRG, like the letters NRG.
Yeah, I've seen that.
just funny, and there's so many. Like there's religious music and stuff, country.
Do you have like Christian dubstep on there?
Oh yeah, the religious Christian rock, Christian rap. I'm sure there's some Christian dubstep in there somewhere. There's reggae, gospel.
Oh, dude, you could find some good friends at that.
Jewish and Yiddish music, you know.
Let's go.
I was just on some of that earlier today, showing him.
We were bumping some Hanukkah music earlier.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to everybody out there.
Yeah, stay safe. Happy holidays. Hope it was a good one for everybody.
Indeed. It's fucking 70 degrees here in St. Louis on December 25th, so it makes no sense.
We might have 3 years left to live, but fuck it. We'll make them a banger 3 years.
Live it up. Find some friends on LuvNote. Maybe find some love. Who knows? And go check out Zygon on SoundCloud. Yeah. That's where most of the bangers are at. Anything else you want to promote?
I don't think so.
Abyssal Cartel, go check them out.
Yeah, we'll be throwing Abyssal shows again with LuvNote. The plan is to be able to write off the show expenses under my taxes as like promotion, and so throw shows under LuvNote.
I like
do things where like if you have premium, like tickets are $10, but premium's $5 a month. If you have premium, you get into the show for free. Little things like that. We're gonna try and create a nice little community.
Little perks.
Yeah,
I like it, dude. Well, nice, man. Thanks for coming all the way out to St. Louis just to do the podcast, bro. Appreciate it, man. It was a long journey, but we're glad you finally made
worth
it.
Worth it.
Worth it. Any last thoughts for the people?
Stay safe. Make some music.
Lock in. Hit the studio. Go make some tunes. All right. Micah, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Not really to the people, honestly, but thank you, Zygon. Yeah. Thank you, Zygon. Like, honestly, you've been super, super duper descriptive compared to a lot of guests we had, you know, and the point of this is production. I felt like you definitely covered that. So
yeah.
Thank you.
A+. Good shit. Thank you, Austin, for filming this one. Control X, our boy.
Big shout out to Control X.
All right. And then this will probably be out by then, but yeah, if it's not, come to Nocturnal New Year's. It's gonna be a good time. All right. Peace.